Testosterone is way bigger than just your sex drive. Let's talk about it. What's up, family, and welcome back to another episode of the Melanin Wellness Podcast. It's your girl, Cori, and today we're going to talk about a topic that doesn't get enough attention, but it affects both men and women, and that is testosterone. Yeah, that little hormone that gets all kinds of myths, gym talk, and misinformation attached to it. Like, kind of like when I go out to my garden and them leaves attach themselves to my sweatpants. But anyway, we're going to break down the myths versus the facts. And then I'm going to share some natural ways to support healthy testosterone levels, because hormones absolutely run the show, whether you're male or female, right? So it runs the show when it comes to our energy, our mood, our muscle, and even our relationships. But y'all know how we do. Before we dive in, let's pause for our 30 seconds of gratitude. Today, I am grateful for the gift of balance and how our bodies are designed with rhythms and signals that tell us exactly what they need. I'm also grateful for the knowledge that we have access to, because the more that we understand our health, the more power that we have to reclaim our lives. And I'm also grateful for a community, for spaces like this, where we can strip away the myths and replace them with truths together. Now, take a deep breath with me. Inhale and exhale. That felt good. Now let that gratitude ground you in as we jump into today's conversation. Let's get it. First up, let's talk about some myths. Myth number 1. Testosterone is only about sex drive. Okay, fact. While it does impact your libido, it also affects your energy, your mood, your bone health, and your muscle. So low testosterone levels can look like fatigue, irritability, or even depression, right? So it's bigger than just the sex drive, because if you are too tired, you're not going to want to have sex anyway. Well, anyway. Myth number 2. Only men need to care about testosterone. Fact. Women need healthy testosterone levels too. It plays a role in our metabolisms, our strength, and our mental clarity. And while many of us women, we don't have high levels of testosterone, testosterone is still present in our bodies. Myth number 3. Taking testosterone boosters or shots is the only way to fix low testosterone levels. Fact, not true. Lifestyle factors such as good quality sleep, stress, and diet play a huge role in your hormone balance. Supplements and therapy exist, but they are not your only option. We're going to get into that in just a moment. All right, so let's get into a little more about what we actually know about testosterone. So according to the American Urological Association, about 2 in 100 men have low testosterone, but that number goes up with age, especially after 40. Black men are more likely to have higher baseline testosterone, but they are also less likely to get checked for imbalances because of stigma around masculinity and health. So that means that the issues that the low testosterone is causing for Black men are going to be more plaguing because they're not going to get checked. They're not going to the doctors. And for women, low testosterone often shows up as low motivation, fatigue, or trouble building muscle. But most women will never get their levels tested because honestly, a lot of women don't even know that they have testosterone in their system. They don't believe that that's a thing that happens in women, that is just a men hormone. Learn something new every day, huh? Bottom line is this hormone matters for everyone, especially over 40, because over 40, we have already begun to lose small percentages of things like muscle mass, testosterone, um, estrogen, collagen. We've already begun to lose small percentages each year up to 40 and over. Like it starts in our 30s and it continues to reduce as we get older. So this is very important. Yeah. All right, now if you're ready, I'm going to give you guys some natural boosts. I'm going to give you 6 of them. They are not rocket science, but you might think things this simple aren't that big of a deal when they actually are. So let's go. All right, now let's talk about these solutions, because you know that I'm all about holistic and natural wellness. That's my jam. That's my lane. That's where I live with it. That's what I practice in my daily life. Number 1, sleep. 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep is key. Testosterone is mainly produced while we sleep, so chronic sleep loss tanks it. I have said this before. I say this on almost every episode. Your body does its best work when it is at rest, when it is asleep. That is when you're going to gain your muscle gains. When you are asleep after your workouts, you're going to get your muscle gains while you're asleep. That's when your body is going to recover. When you work out, you get these small little tears in your muscles. That's what strength training done. And that's okay. It's normal because it's just making room. However, they repair and you get your muscle gains while you are asleep, which is why that 7 to 9 hours is critical. It is also critical for mental clarity. When we do not get enough rest, our brains are cloudy. Our reaction times are slower. We're fuzzy. We're irritable. So sleep. Now everybody needs a different amount of sleep, but 7 to 9 hours. 7, I personally feel like 7, it shouldn't be below 7, because if I start going below 7, that is not about to be a good day. Number 2, strength training. I just touched on this. Lifting weights or doing resistance bands boosts your testosterone naturally. I talked about this, I talked about this a couple of episodes back. And again, I talk about this on the show all the time about how strength training and using weights and or resistance bands has been absolutely a game changer for my body's strength, my body's flexibility, my muscles, my core strength. Overall, my body is just stronger. It is just healthier. And it turns out that when you are strength training, you're boosting those testosterone levels naturally. So far, we haven't taken any pills yet. No shots. I'm just saying. Number 3, nutrition. Focus on eating healthy fats. So that's going to come in the form of avocados, olive oils, your nuts and your seeds, lean proteins, and a zinc-rich diet. Zinc-rich foods are things like pumpkin seeds and seafood. And that is because those things have natural testosterone boosters within them. Your diet should already consist of 80 to 90% of your whole healthy foods, such as the ones that I just listed, and including your fruits and your vegetables, where you're leaving that 10 to 20% open for your favorite treats, your cookies, your cakes, your snacks. A balanced diet always includes all of those things, because if you try to deprive yourself completely of the things that you love, I can assure you that it's going to come a day where that's going to catch you and it's going to turn into a binge and you're not going to be able to stop. Trust me, I know from experience. Moving on to number 4, which is stress management. One of the beauties of that deep inhale and exhale that we take at the beginning of the show is that is a stress management technique. So high cortisol levels equals low testosterone. That stress hormone is going to cancel out that testosterone. Breath work, meditation, and yoga. And yes, even for men. Many of you know that I am a yoga instructor, and I have been for about 5 years now. And it is one of the things that is in my fitness regime, because yoga not only helps to build strength, but it also helps to build emotional strength. It is so good for the mind. It is so good for the nervous system. So, yeah. Number 5, sunshine and vitamin D. This is I don't even know how to describe this. This is maybe a hot take. I don't know. But many of us don't realize that Black people have a vitamin D deficiency. Most of us do. And that is because the beautiful melanin in our skin often keeps us from absorbing all of that sunlight. But in return, it also keeps us from absorbing vitamin D, high levels of vitamin D, which is necessary for energy. And studies have shown that a vitamin D deficiency links to lower testosterone levels. So if you do not have one, I would suggest you getting a vitamin D supplement. Remember, I am not a doctor. This is not to be construed as medical advice. However, I can tell you what I do, and I do take a vitamin D supplement. Everybody in my family does. Number 6, and the final one, is to limit alcohol and sugar. Now, I don't drink. My husband doesn't drink. So, this one here isn't that big of a deal for us. However, sugar can be a huge deal, especially in the Black community. Y'all know we like us some sweets. We like us some sweet stuff. Over the years, I have systematically began reducing the amount of sugar that my family takes in, because alcohol and sugar both interfere with hormone production, and they cause inflammation. Now, I am not saying that you have to get rid of sugar altogether, because we still have sugar in my house. However, we do not eat as much sugar as we used to. I do not cook with large amounts of sugar. I'm going to be honest, I don't use a sugar substitute. If I do, it is in the way of like an agave nectar, or maybe 100% maple syrup. I do not use the substitutes like the stevias. I don't use those things because I don't know what it is about those things, but they give me a headache, as they do many people. So those are alternate sweeteners. If you want to use sweeteners in your foods, those are some of the things that I use, because simple changes lead to big impacts. All right, family. So just remember that testosterone isn't just a men's issue. It is a wellness issue. So whether you're male or female, young or midlife, keeping hormones balanced is one of the best gifts that you can give yourself. So if you found this episode helpful, share this episode with someone who needs it, because knowledge is wellness and wellness is power. Until next time, family, keep choosing yourself and making your wellness non-negotiable. I'll see you in the next episode.